state are on their way to the area at this hour. MTN's Chris Oswalt talked with the Canadian officials about how vital these resources are, and he's live in the studio with those details.
Mackenzie, the Fort McMurray fire is nowhere near under control. As you can see, the flames are still raging. It's why 5 teams from the Treasure State are headed north. 20 of them from the Lewis and Clark Forest Service right here in Helena. They should arrive in the Fort McMurray area in the next couple of days. And while they don't know what their jobs will be, Canadian firefighters are welcoming this help. From the air, hundreds of firefighters work to contain the massive Fort McMurray blaze. Huge amounts of smoke still cover the city. 100 firefighters from the Treasure State are moving in to help out. They flew out of Missoula this morning. The work they will do, unknown. The help they will provide, invaluable.
We have good weather like in the few last days, so now that we can put the firefighter on the fire, they can hold the fire and have a good impact on it.
The decision to bring in extra manpower was made last week after flames closed in on oil sand sites, forcing mandatory evacuations of 19 facilities north of Fort McMurray.
150 to 200 firefighters are in that community they're keeping an eye out for ember spread that should that move into that community, and we're told so far so good.
While the threat to homes and lives is gone, at least for now, with no significant rain expected in the near future, fighting this fire is going to be tough.
Fire is not contained. Like they work on it, they have a good impact, but it's a large fire, so they will need a lot of help.
It is help coming from Montana men and women willing to give up their lives here at home to battle the blaze to our north. And Chief Meteorologist Curtis Crevenez is joining us now. You've been monitoring this fire. The majority of those people going are from the BLM and Forest Service, and it's much needed.
Yeah, best of luck to those firefighters that we're sending from our state. But, you know, I can't help but be critical a little bit of the Canadian government, because when this fire first started
weeks ago,
everybody was jumping in. The United States, Canada, Russia, Mexico, some European countries offering help, and they said no at the time. That's when the fire was still relatively small before we had to evacuate. I want to show you just a picture, a couple of pictures here of the Fort McMurray area. Again, this is a satellite before the fire moved through, and this is about when everybody was evacuating. And here's a satellite image afterward. You can see everything burned. Of course, about 100,000 people forced to evacuate, and at that time the fire was still relatively manageable, about 15,000, 20,000 acres. Now we are at 1.2 million acres and still 0% contained. This is another satellite image just recently, and where you see the red little dots, that's new fire growth. So this fire now actually moving into Saskatchewan. It continues to grow, and it looks like they may have waited just a little too long to get some assistance in fighting that fire.